Hello and welcome to Ivycreates. Today we're going to be doing a little portrait of a kitty cat, a flower shop kitty cat that was found in a cemetery and has no tail, but she came to the flower shop and she's become a part of the family there. You can see that there's a few short clips in the video that I mixed in of her disturbing me while I was trying to work. Her name is Dahlia, of course, because she's a flower shop kitty. So what I'm doing right now is I'm using graphite paper and a black and white, sketched out kind of photo to get the bases for my portrait down on canvas. And from there, I'll go into the painting portions. I really hope you enjoy this. I enjoy doing pet portraits with a little extra added personality. The pet portraits are a lot of fun, and I really think that you'll enjoy doing them too. It's an easy way to do them. I'm just using graphite paper and the regular copy on top of it, and a sharp kind of tool, not too sharp, but sharp enough tool that I can scrunch in or I don't know how you would say it, but move in all of the marks so that you can see whenever I pull it back what the sketch will be. So follow along, do your own type of portrait. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I have some of the tools that I use are also in the comments below. If you like this, please share and subscribe to my channel. I am offering pet portraits now as commissions, so if you would like your own 11 by 14 of your pet and you don't think you can do it, which I hope that you at least try, please, message me. You can message me on Facebook for Deanna Carroll or Ivycreates, either way. You can get in touch with me many ways, which are listed below. Also, like I said, please leave comments. Let me know what you think about the different methods. I've been watching a lot of British television, so I've seen they have a Portrait Artist of the Year on British television, and I love watching it because they show the people doing the art, which is fantastic. And they did this technique, and it's a time saver. You can see now I'm using a pencil just to kind of sketch things in a little bit more and darken it up. But this technique was used on the Portrait Artist of the Year for the National Portrait Gallery in London. So I feel pretty confident in saying, well, I can do that too. And it takes a lot less time to, than blocking everything out and trying to freehand draw it. And besides that, it's more accurate. And if you're going to do a portrait, you want it to be as accurate as possible. For your client or your customer. You want it to be very, very accurate. So now I'm going to lay in just color blocks and colors. I'm not doing anything fancy or particularly skilled. All I'm doing is laying in some color for a background, which in this case, because she is a flower shop kitty, she's getting pink. And I'm going all in one direction, so it kind of looks as if it were maybe, kind of like a piece of fabric behind her or what have you. And I'll do more to this later on, but right now it's mainly about covering the canvas, making sure that I have no white showing. In flowers, you do flower arrangements and you don't want to show any of your mechanics. Well, it's kind of the same thing with your art. You really don't want to show your mechanics if you can help it. So I personally like to make sure that my canvas is 100% covered and there's no white canvas showing underneath it. And if there is white, I use white, paint. I don't leave it flat on the canvas. So they usually have a basic gesso on the canvases before you purchase them. I prefer to use color on top of that. And that's the way it should be. So I hope you're enjoying this. This is just the background, and I'm going to let it dry for a little bit, and then we'll work on some of the other points of it. So as it's beginning to dry, I pull out my Faber-Castell artist pit pins or pit artist pins, whatever way you want to do. They're brush tipped. This one actually says peach, but it comes out to be almost a dark brownish peach unless you put white with it. And the Faber-Castells are my favorite, but they are very blendable, so you can use different markers with them. And like I said, I'm a multimedia artist, so I use all different types of techniques when I'm doing these things. I want to make sure that, all my details are done, so I might use several different types of markers. Some are going to be opaque, some are going to be transparent. I have a link below for Michael's, there you can get them from there. It's funny, I go to between the different hobby stores. One has this, the other has that. It's to find it each one. But I find that Michael's has the best selection of pins and artist markers. There is a group of markers that I really want to try, but I can't quite get there yet. Sharpie just came out with an acrylic marker, and it's going to, I think, have a brush tip also. And I cannot wait to try it. I just don't have, I have it in my wish list on Amazon under Deonna, but I don't have the money to quite get it yet. I will though. And so, Sharpies, yeah, I love Sharpies of all kinds. And I will say this though, Sharpies, even though they say they don't bleed and different things like that, I find that they actually do bleed with some of my paints that I use. You can put different things over them and they might kind of turn, like a black one would turn kind of purple. So you do have to be wary of that. So you can see now I'm adding more color blocks in, and all I'm doing is coloring in the darkest parts of my painting so that I can kind of see where the lines are. And I am using my phone to look at the picture, and I'm using the big black and white that I have. And that's what I'm going by. So I want to put in all my dark areas. And you can see I've also got little paint pots that I use because I don't use a palette. I'm very frugal with my paints. You got to be, the prices of everything. So I'm frugal, and I use my little paint pots and I mix them in those and I shut them, and that way I can reuse them again and again. And I don't have to worry about wasting paint or it drying up or, anything like that. And paint is very precious to me. So I definitely want to keep it, usable as possibly can.
No.
Now here's a little video of my kitty cat.
Cannot.
Not mine in particular, but the shop kitty cat. Found as a kitten in the cemetery and no tail at all. So she is considered, I think, a Manx kitten. And
Except
she was working as best as she could to tear up the roses that I was trying to put in a vase. But
No,
that's
you
okay.
can't.
She's
Look.
cute and spicy. A little spicy, but cute. But back to our painting. I'm working now. I'm putting more of the creamy color in because even though this is a tabby kitten, she has a lot of browns and creams in her fur. So I'm going to go ahead and just color block in some cream right now. These videos are going to be done. I mean, I'm doing this one like in 4 times fast. I sped it up because if you saw how long it takes me to actually do this, I usually spend a day doing these type of little portraits. This one in particular is on an 8x10 canvas, so it's not very big and it probably wouldn't take quite as long, but I do spend a bit of time doing it, and in the effort to try and keep it quick as possible and entertaining for you guys so that you can learn from it. I do increase the speed quite a bit. I am not this good to be this fast. So, do recognize that. And I try not to slow it down because I want you guys to be able to enjoy it as well. Now you will see that the good thing about doing the darkness first is you can layer over the top of the darkness even to make it lighter or to change it up a little bit or different things like that. And right now I'm just making sure that it's dry enough so I can move on to my next step. And that means I'm using a heat gun and using it quickly and lightly, not too heavy, because it will melt through the canvas if you're too long on it. So this is a gray color to go into the fur of our kitty cat. And I use short, quick strokes on there because I am still, even though I haven't got to the end parts of the fur, I'm still using short, quick strokes to give that impression of fur. Because when I do layer and layer after layer, I want to make sure that it looks like it's got a lot in it. And this is a black color, just highlighting and, eyelining. Kitty cat looks like it's wearing eyeliner. I love animals more than anything. I love them more than people in most cases, but I love the opportunities that I've had to be around a lot of different animals. Working with rehabbers was a really fantastic thing because I've got to be around raccoons and possums and fox and turtles and snakes and owls and crows and all kinds of critters that have come in through the rehab. So that was really fun to do, was to be around and get to see, like the brand new babies during the spring and the different things that come in through the rehab. Please, visit your local rehabs and talk with them and donate to them because they do amazing jobs. And when I say amazing, it's overnight. They will be up all night feeding raccoon babies like they're real babies because they take bottles all night. Or baby bunnies, keeping them warm and keeping them happy. And that's really hard because they don't last very long without a parent. So you have to be a really good rehabber to rehab a baby bunny. Or the foxes and everything. It's just an amazing job that they do. And Woodside Wildlife is who I was actually around and able to help with and everything, and I really like them a lot. Here locally where I am on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, there's also a zoo type place, a small little zoo type place called Wild Acres, and they're pretty neat too. So you get to see a lot more interesting animals there as well. I've even made like big sheets of plywood, when you go to a festival and you can take your picture in front of a big sheet and they have like a hole for your face. I've made those with, I did one with an animal with a possum and little baby possums all over it. And I did one with a bat. So when you took the picture, you would just then turn it upside down to make it look like it's hanging from a tree. And that was pretty fun. So I'm adding all the different, just base coats blocking in the color. You don't have to be accurate. At this point, you just want to follow the lights and the darks. So I'm just going to put in whites and grays and blacks and maybe a little bit of blue here and there to pull in extra colors. When I look at the colors on this kitten, even though it's a tabby and it's gray and white and it has some browns and beiges, I also see some little hints of pinks and purples and different colors that'll show up in the kitten's fur. Now I'm just going to color in the eye. I don't know what it is about the eyes on animals, people, whatever. It's the most important thing I can think of, on any portrait that you do is the eyes. And so I'm just putting color in. I'm not making it totally 100% accurate at this point. I just want to put the color in, so I'm looking at an actual critter instead of just a blank, blank eyes. It's just a personal thing. I like to make sure the eyes are well taken care of. If you found this valuable, please don't forget to like it, share it, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'm gonna have many more videos coming out. I was absent for a while. I had a lovely granddaughter and a lot to do with her, so I am now back and ready to go, and I hope you enjoy the video. Now you can see I'm again using my Faber-Castell. This is a gray pen, so it is a transparent type of pen. It's not as dark as some of the other ones. You can look to my left and see that I have a white pen, and I have that peach one, and this one's a gray one. And I have some black, and they do have a bit of transparency to them. So while I'm using these short, tiny strokes to put in fur right now, I'm adding on my layers. I have my paint underneath, and then I'm putting in fur with the little quick strokes on this Faber-Castell pen, and it just adds more depth to it, and you can start to see more of the cat's personality come out. Remember, none of this is difficult. It just takes a little bit of practice, and there are easy techniques that you can use, and you don't have to be one type of artist to do it. I've seen people come in with acrylics and then use pastels on top of them, or an oil and a pastel mixed together. You can do many different things, and use all kinds of tools. Don't be worried that your tools are not the greatest or most expensive or anything like that. I've used everything from Crayola markers to Crayola colored pencils, because they have a great white in the Crayola colored pencils. I use just cheapest stuff I can find at the Dollar Tree. They have an awesome set of markers at the Dollar Tree in the crafters area. I've used lots of different types, some from Dollar General, all the different places. And so everywhere I go, I'm always looking for my next good tool for art, because I am very frugal, and I have to be, working artists are poor. So I look for art supplies everywhere I go. And I don't know if you can hear the puppy or not. That's Lucy in the background. She's raising Cain about something. Now I'm adding a little bit more peach to the ears. I'd put some pink in the ears, and now I'm adding the peach back to it, making it a little bit darker. And when you put it over a lighter color, it does give a lighter look to it, which is really great. You'll notice I added a little bit of pink to the nose, and I added it up on the tips of the ears and right above the nose. And then I go back with the peach, putting the peach in there. I'm adding individual little strokes to give that illusion of fur, using that peachy colored Faber-Castell pen. So now you'll see I jump around from time to time on my canvas from area to area, and usually I'm trying to get to all of the colors, like for that one pen. Wherever I think those colors might be, I want to work around, and also so I can look back at what I've already done, get my hand out of the way to look back at what I've already done. So I'm just adding the little short strokes everywhere. Now I'm going to go back in and add some more black, get it darker again, even though I've gone over it with the different ones. And like I said, the best parts about these particular pens is You do have some that are more transparent than others, and if you come back over it with a more transparent color, you can blend a little bit more, and that is a good thing. Just like the Copic pens and markers are very blendable, but the Copic ones, they're expensive as almighty get out, so I don't ever purchase them unless I find them on sale or something. Even though they're pretty neat pens, I don't purchase those. So you can see, you can't really tell in the picture, but her eyes have a greenish yellow color to them. I put a green color, like a metallic color. And that is another thing that I tend to do with a lot of my artwork is put metallics in to my paintings, especially in the eyes, because it gives it that little sheen. And you ever see a painting and it follows you wherever you're going around the room? Well, there's two reasons why. One of them is if the person or critter is looking straight at you, and the other is if you've added something to it, like a metallic. A lot of times I'll use a glow-in-the-dark paint. Don't be limited by what you think is art. Art can be anything you want it to be. And so I love to use different types of things. I mean, literally, I use fabric paint because it might be raised and I want more texture. And I might use some glitter pens or, the metallic sheen pens. And, Dollar Tree has a great example of a couple of those. And also the different neon pens and markers and paints that I can find. Just anything you want to use to give it that little bit of something extra and that little unexpectedness. I'm going back in and adding all of her dark lines. And I tell you, for this kitty, when we got her, she was way too young to be away from her mom, and is the sweetest, most lovable cat. Even though she does like to play, I won't say she doesn't, but she is so sweet and so lovable and friendly and would just run to you and play like a dog. She thinks it's the best. She had a little golf ball that she would play around in the shop, and she would bat that ball all around the shop. If you stay tuned all the way to the end, I have another little short video clip of her playing around, and she is all the cuteness and more. Like I said, follow the picture as much as you can on this point, but don't worry about being 100% accurate, because you're going to go over with so many layers that you have a chance to fix everything that you might not be happy with at any point. Now, this is called a mild liner pen. I actually found these at the Dollar General, and because they have a whole pen section now, and it's a marker type thing, and it is transparent, and it seems to have a little bits of glitter to it, maybe a little tiny bit, but it's good because it blends really well with my other markers as well. Like I said, there is no marker that is untouched. I use anything and everything I can find. If I like the color of it, I'm going to use it. So what we have here is a collaboration of acrylic paint and different inks and different markers. And you can't see in this picture here, I actually took this picture, she was sitting on my desk, and you can't really see what color her eyes are, but they are, this has kind of been changed up a little because I wanted it. It helps me with painting to sometimes edit and make it lighter or darker or more contrasty, the pictures. And then when I'm painting them, I can find the contrast easier. And you can see right around her nose there on the phone picture, how it showed that it had the brown right around the nose and the brown in her shoulder and under her belly. Now this is one of those great pins that came from the, I think it's the Crafter Square or what have you at Dollar General. They have a great white pin. It's metallic, it says, but it's not a noticeable metallic. And these are Premier markers. Like I said, I only shop really at 4 places, so you can find them at those 4 places, and I do have links below for 2 of them, so please use the links. It does help me to create videos whenever you guys use the links, because as an affiliate partner, I do get a little tiny bit of whatever you purchase as far as commission-wise, so it does help me to buy more art supplies. Another thing that I do as well is, like, I might come in there and lighten everything up with you know, a lighter pen or a different thing like that, and then come over the top of that white area with a transparent beige or a transparent peach or something of that sort to kind of tone it back down again. So you'll see me do that several times. I'll lighten something up really good and then tone it back down, or darken something really dark and then tone it back down with a different lighter or darker color. You can see I keep going back to the eyes, and I want to get the eyes as perfect as I possibly can. It just takes a lot of work. And this particular white is the Faber-Castell pen, and it's more transparent, and the one that I just picked up is the one from Dollar Tree, and I'm putting whites in the eyes because you got to put little catch lights. It gives them that realistic look to them. And that white was from the Dollar Tree, and it's a very good white. Now I'll go back in and tone it down just a touch with that peach, and then again with a little bit of yellow to add more yellow to the eye. Adding some of the brighter yellow. This little pen is one of those little pens I think I found at the Dollar General, and it's got a bit of gold to it. It's a gel pen, and those gel pens are great if you want something more solid and brighter. It adds that, you know, a little bit of color to it. And I'm sorry that it's so difficult to see on camera, the difference in colors and the sheens that they are, but I promise you it turns out really cool. And you can see I just lightened up that picture on my phone really well in the editing, so that I wanted to really see the eyes a little bit better. And since the picture, it's a great picture, but it just doesn't show the brightness of her eyes much. So I did lighten it up so I could see a little bit better. And then I reverted back to the original picture. Again, I'm using that Dollar Tree metallic white marker that is really awesome. And before marker dries, if you need to blend some, because this is a very, very opaque type marker, if you need to blend a little bit more, you can use your finger to blend it really quickly before it dries. You'll see me sometimes wipe it with my finger a little bit. That's what I'm doing, is blending it out a little bit. Another thing, just so you know, if I've often heard people say that, you know, if you're doing a painting or a picture of any kind, change it around and use different directions, because that'll tell you how well you're doing it, because it might look good to you facing one way, but when you turn it around and face it a different direction, you might get something totally different. So that'll help you with your proportions and everything. Make sure that everything's right. And also, from time to time, you want to do that to reach areas that might be hard to reach the other direction. So you can turn it around and add fur and do different things, you know, in different directions. Yeah, I wish I could find like dozens and dozens of this particular white marker that I found at Dollar Tree, because I looked it up online, because you can buy things online through, and I think I have the link below on that too. But this marker usually comes as in a case, and they have, I think, 36 in a case. And it comes with the silver and gold and the white. And they're metallic ink markers. They're really awesome. But I wish I could just find the whites by themselves, because the whites are really incredible for this, you know, $1.25 marker. It's not always easy to find anything white. Now move back to the Faber-Castell gray pen, and I'll go back over everything as I'm adding fur and lighten and darken again. Always following the line of the original dark lines that I'm making. Switching back to that other white Faber-Castell Artist Pit pen, brush tip, and this one in particular is more transparent than the Dollar Tree pen is, so I'm just blending more with my Faber-Castell pen. So once you have all of your base colors down, then you're able to move on and start, you know, adding more details and lightening it up. Like they have long fur in her ears, and that's white, and I'm able to add through that. I'm not a hyper realistic painter. I'm a little bit more abstract than that, but I do like it to have some realism to it. And that's things like adding the little catch lights in the eyes, maybe adding lights and darks, maybe adding some shadows and lights where the sunlight's coming, different things like that. And you can see with this transparent pen, the more you add, the more it looks like actual fur instead of just little marks. I added those bright whites down there in the bottom, and now I'm going over the top of it to blend it more. Because Miss Dahlia is a flower shop kitty, we're going to do a little bit something extra for her.
What are you doing, kitty cat? Kitty cat.
So now we're going to add a little bit to her. I'm not going to do a whole lot. I just want to do a little something extra for her, you know, personality wise, and because of where she actually lives. I want to sit her down on a bed of grass. I'm still keeping my pink background. I like it, and you know, I'm just going to leave it pink. I thank you for watching, and especially for watching my long videos, if they get up to this, you know, almost 45-minute mark. But thank you so much for watching and staying with me so far. Again, I'm using my little heat gun to dry it off as I go. That just helps speed up the painting process for me. And you know, please come back and see my other videos. I have paintings of my dog Clyde, and some paintings I can't show you because they're client paintings and they haven't been given yet because they will be gifts. But I hope to be able to show more of those later on, maybe next year. So I'm just adding with little up strokes. Now these are longer strokes with thinner paint, and I want to add those, and just to give her like she's sitting in the grass or playing. And I put a little, you know, greenery necklace around her, which I will add some flowers to. Gotta dry it off first though. I wanted to soften the look of the background a little bit, so I did add a little bit of white, thin white. And first I wet the canvas down with water, then I added the little thin white, and just to kind of soften it up and add another dimension of color so it didn't look so flat. The more layers you have, the more dimensions you have, the different colors, that is what gives you that depth on the painting and make it not look so flat. Now I'm just going to add some cute little flowers to her. I guess you would call it a lei. I was going to do one on her head, but I was like, that would be really, really tiny. So I decided to do it as a lei around her neck. So I started with the yellow, and I'll come back with a couple of oranges and golds. Now I just went into the grass and added a few little flowers in there. They weren't real bright. They're just little hints of flowers down in the grass. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you go back to my channel and, view some more videos. I've got some other different types of videos in there. I've got some great shorts of my dog Clyde, who is, as of right now, he's 11 months old and about 130 pounds. He's a South African Mastiff, a Boerboel, and he's quite the character. And in fact, we went swimming today, and it is October. He'll be a year old next month in November of 2024. I'm looking forward to that. Everybody's always shocked and surprised when they see him, and big boy. All right, here's Miss Dahlia. Here's her painting.